The awakening dilemma. This video is for those of you who are having an initial spiritual awakening or who have perhaps had one in the past, gone back into a slumber state, and now are re-emerging again. But you're finding yourself in a dilemma. What we're talking about in today's video is, do you need to break up with your partner? Is your partner going to be able to keep up with your awakening process? Is your partner going to understand? So having this fear that perhaps your partner won't be able to keep up with you. Now that you've had a spiritual awakening, maybe you guys won't match up anymore. Maybe the frequency is just too different. Do they not understand? Will they ever understand? The list goes on. And this is a very, very common conversation that I find myself having with people, is that after their awakening, not only does your entire life get shaken up, but there's a big fear in your romantic partner. Do they just fit in your life anymore? Will they? And a lot of people will actually slow down their spiritual progress in fear that, I will lose my partner. And so maybe you've already fallen into that before and you're re-emerging again. This video is for all of you who are ready to face this head on. And there's not a specific answer I can give you in this video. But what we can do is start to gain more clarity around how you are going to move forward in your life after your spiritual awakening, because so much is happening now. And there's two sides of awakening, because you're no longer asleep. You're no longer going on your day-to-day autopilot matrix script. So initially, there's going to be so many changes, but there are also a lot of positive changes. There's the high of clarity, feeling connected to truth, divine timing, and synchronicities. I remember this being the most exciting one for me. And I mean, it's just this knowing that all of a sudden, everything is able to communicate with you. Life is more sentient than you were aware of. So these synchronicities, be it in nature, be it seeing certain types of birds, insects, be it just things talking to you in ways that don't physically speak to you, but it's speaking to you, if you know what I mean. Feeling like you've broken free from the matrix. You're like driving down the street and you're seeing it in front of you now. You're seeing how the matrix plays out, whereas before you just weren't. And you see that these energetic drains are everywhere. So what do we want? We want comfort. We want to have someone in our lives that understands, which brings us into the dynamic of your partner. And we will get into that very shortly. But before that, I want to go into this yin and yang, because before we go any deeper into this, there has to be an overarching theme that you can rely on when it comes to your awakening. Because we start to take this really seriously, and what happens is you fall back into another script, you fall back into another play, illusion, Maya, that you start to take really seriously. And it's part of the process, and that's okay. But let's kind of have this example of the yin-yang kind of guide us here. So the yin is the dark curve. This is the aftermath we were speaking of gaining clarity. There is a sense of grief. There is a sense of loss because you're dissolving the illusions. So we can call this the shadow side of awakening. And you're going to notice things falling apart in your life. You're going to notice relationships. You're going to notice so many things around you just start to move. Their puzzle pieces are shifting around. And you're now going to create this new picture. And in order to do that, some of these pieces need to fall apart. Some of these pieces need to be thrown out. And so awakening is not this crystal clear white light type of experience. This is where you're really put to work. And the dot within, so then we have the yang, we have the light curve. This is the high of the clarity. There is this bliss of remembering the truth of so many things that you've been lied about. The expansion of awareness. there's a joy of feeling this internal alignment within you too. This alignment is like, it's lighting you up. And when you don't know how to navigate the light and the dark in this way, it's almost like the brighter you light up, then the darker you can kind of dim as well. It has this little seed, this little dot of the opposite inside each one. Awakening always carries both energies. So in the bliss, there's always a seed of grief. And in the grief, there's always a seed of liberation. So this is the flow between the awakening process, because awakening isn't the static thing. You don't awaken and you don't stay in this bliss state 24/7 unless you have become enlightened, unless you become the Buddha. So it keeps spiraling. So you flow between the joy of the vision and what's being revealed to you, and then the weight of the aftermath of what's been revealed to you. So you have to learn how to hold both of these energies and understand that actually, let me pull up the definition of yin yang or yin and yang. It says the concept of opposite cosmic principles of or forces that interact, interconnect, and perpetuate each other. Yin and yang can be thought of as complementary and at the same time opposing forces that together form a dynamic system in which the whole is greater than the assembled parts, and the parts are essential for the cohesion of the whole. So what I'm trying to tell you is both of these realities are going to be existing within you, the highs and the lows, the light and the dark. So here I have a list of the different areas of your life that awakening will illuminate. Clarity of self, clarity of patterns in your life, clarity of energy, and clarity of truth. If you want to look these over, I'm sure you've already have experienced a lot of what's in this list, and it will continue to grow. And I'm curious, and why don't you share beneath here in the comment section where you kind of see your partner in here. Do you see your partner with clarity of self? Do you realize maybe your partner, you don't need your partner to be you? Maybe you've been highly codependent. Or maybe clarity of patterns. What type of patterns do you see in your relationship that are coming up to the surface now that have been revealed to you? Clarity of energy. How does your partner influence your energy field? Clarity of truth. So I'm sure it's a combination, but when it comes to your relationship, here's the truth. The more that you obsess over the external, the more that you take inventory of what's happening externally, and you start with the should I leave? Should I stay? Are they wanting to awaken too? And you start to build on these questions, the more tangled you get into the shadow aspect of awakening. But the more you turn your focus inward into your own energy, into your own clarity, into your own awakening, into your own now embodiment, and how do you really integrate your awakening in this external world full of illusions? That's a big, big, vast subject that doesn't just find an answer overnight. You don't just find that embodiment overnight. But the more you do start to focus on this, the more the external naturally begins to balance itself. So that's how the yin and the yang work together. This is how we find a cohesion. So the relationships don't survive or they don't fall apart because of an awakening itself. They start to mold themselves based on whether you're living from this inner alignment or outer projection. And that's a big mix up too. We start to think the ego starts to kick in. The ego's still there regardless of your awakening. That's the thing too. And the ego starts to kick in and start to ask these questions. Starts to worry. Starts to say, well, I'm now more spiritual. So here comes, another wave of illusions taking the forefront. So it's not about rushing for an answer, but it's really continuing for you to focus on your own inner work and knowing that it's just a cosmic law. It's just how things work in this dualistic reality as well, that whatever you're focusing on more is going to bring more, you're going to be revealed more of that. And it's that simple, but yet that incredibly difficult to do. Where the freedom lies is knowing that wherever something needs to be shed in your life, it will be shed. There's not necessarily even anything that you will have to do in terms of focusing on the other person. All you have to do is focus on your own path. You lighting your own path by doing your own spiritual practices, by doing your own bhakti, your own devotional practices, your own self-inquiry, your shadow work, your light work, all of this is going to naturally peel away what needs to be peeled away, and it's going to naturally illuminate what is meant to be illuminated in your life. We do have to recognize what's coming up, but at the same time, understand that everything truly is a reflection of what's going on internally too. And understand that you can live in worry and fear, or you can live in complete trust and really go into those moments of surrender when they come up as well. So that is where I'm going to end this video for today. Please check out the links in my description. I have a 4-day energy training quest where you would get for free, just put your email address, sign up at the link. You get 4 videos sent to your inbox in 4 days where you can practice energy work, breath work, and they're filmed in Costa Rica, really beautiful videos I'm excited to share with you. I also have my coaching services below. Check that out. Oh, I also have my classes as well. If you want to take a live class with me, I have yoga and Qi Gong and breathwork available as well. So thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe. Please like this video, and I will see you very soon.